CompTIA A Core 2, Complete Training Course. Exam Objective 1.9 Identify common features and tools of the Linux Client Desktop Operating System. File Management Commands. As we continue working within the Linux operating system, let's shift our focus to another essential skill: managing files from the command line interface. In this video segment, we'll walk through a set of common file management commands that allow you to navigate, organize, and control files directly from the Linux CLI. Let's start with two commands that help you understand where you are and what's around you, which are pwd and ls. The pwd command stands for Print Working Directory, and it shows you your current location within the Linux file system. Think of it like checking your GPS to see exactly where you are. When you run pwd, the system returns the full file path of your current directory, helping you stay oriented as you move through the system. Next, we have the ls command, which is used to list the contents of a directory. This allows you to see the files and folders located in your current directory. If you want to view hidden files as well, you can use ls-a. In Linux, hidden files begin with a period, so this option reveals files that are normally kept out of sight. Now that you know where you are and what's inside a directory, let's talk about moving and copying files. The mv command is used to move files from one location to another. It works much like a cut and paste operation. In addition to moving files, mv can also be used to rename them. For example, if Jane wants to move a file and rename it at the same time, she can use mv followed by the source file and then the destination path with the new file name. The cp command, on the other hand, is used to copy files. This allows you to duplicate a file while keeping the original intact. For instance, if Jane wants to create a backup of a file, she can use cp followed by the source file and the destination directory where the copy will be placed. Next, let's talk about removing files. The rm command is used to delete files from the system. Think of it as the Linux version of the delete key, but with one major difference: there is no recycle bin. Once a file is removed using rm, it is permanently deleted. Because of this, it's important to use this command with caution. Now let's move into permissions and ownership, which are key concepts in Linux. In a Linux system, every file and directory has both permissions and an owner, and these determine who can access or modify that file. The chmod command is used to modify file permissions. It controls three basic types of access: read, which allows a user to view the contents of a file; write, which allows a user to modify the file; and execute, which allows a file to be run as a program. These permissions are applied to three different groups: the owner of the file, the group associated with the file, and others, meaning everyone else on the system. Permissions can be set using numerical values, such as 744, or by using symbolic options like plus or minus to add or remove specific permissions. At this point in your learning journey, the key takeaway is that the chmod command is used to control who can access and interact with a file. Don't worry too much about the specifics just yet. Now let's look at chown, short for change owner. The chown command is used to change file ownership, allowing you to assign a file or directory to a different user or group. For example, if Jane wants to transfer ownership of a file to Bob, she can use chown followed by Bob's name and the file name. After running the command, Bob becomes the new owner of that file. Ownership is important because the owner typically has the highest level of control over a file, including the ability to modify its permissions. Finally, let's look at two commands used for searching, which are find and grep. The find command is used to locate files within the file system. You can specify a starting directory and search for a file by name, which makes it especially useful when you're not sure where a file is stored. For example, if Jane is trying to locate a file somewhere within her home directory, she can use the find command to search through all subdirectories and return the full path to any matching results. This makes find a powerful tool for navigating large file systems where manually searching would take too much time. Now let's look at grep. The grep command is used to search within files. Instead of locating files themselves, grep looks inside files and allows you to search for specific words or patterns within text. For example, if Jane is reviewing a log file and wants to find every instance of the word error, she can use grep followed by the keyword and the file name. The command will return only the lines that contain that word, making it much easier to quickly identify relevant information. Together, find and grep are often used to locate files and then search within them, making them essential tools for troubleshooting and working with large amounts of data in a Linux environment. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more great content.